Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala sayidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wasahbihi ajmain. Ya Allah ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami dan kasihilah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami dan negara kami. Ya Allah ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah, syukur pada Allah SWT kita dapat hadir ke kelas kita pada pagi ini ya. Apa khabar semua?
Baik, Prof.
Alhamdulillah.
Baik, Prof.
Okey, alhamdulillah Jadi kita dah masuk minggu yang kelima ni Okey, jadi pada hari ini kita akan sambung lagi dengan apa yang kita berhenti pada minggu lepas. Dan malam tadi saya ada upload soalan untuk dibincangkan pada pagi ini. Okay, so without further delay, okay, we discuss the question together. Okay, can you see the word file?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, kita, our coverage the coverage is compare and contrast between MFRSs and their treatment in the financial statement. Okay. So, we go to the first question. Basically, the question is about a building. Kingfisher Inanam Berhad acquired a building on 1st January 2014 at a cost of 3.5 million. We know it is a building, but we do not know yet whether it is a property plant equipment or it is an investment property. The estimated useful life of the building is 40 years. The fair value of the building as at 31st December 2015 and 31st December 2017 were 3.6 million and 3.8 million respectively. Okay, so up to this paragraph, we do not know the purpose of purchasing the building, whether it is for the purpose of property plant equipment or for the purpose of investment property. Next, required. A, assuming the company rented out the building to a retailer, BBH Enterprise, on 1st January 2014, it is the policy of the company to measure both investment property and property plant equipment using cost model. The company closes its account on 31st December every year. Okay, so from paragraph A, okay, do you know whether the building is for the purpose of property plant equipment or for the purpose of investment property? Is it for PPE or for IP? Anybody want to try? Yes?
Investment property.
Investment property. Okay, investment property. Good. Why you say it is an investment property? What is it?
Building.
Building, yes, okay, building. Building can be property, can be investment property. But why you say that it is an investment property?
Dia rent out.
Yes, okay, because we come across a word here, ataupun a term here, used to identify that the building is basically for investment property. Okay, because the definition of investment property is for rental purpose or for capital appreciation. Okay, so this building under A is an investment property. Okay, discuss the accounting treatment of the building for the year ended 31st December 2015 and 31st December 2017. Okay, from the question above, okay, the cost is 3.5 million. And then there is a fair value of 3.6 million and 3.8 million on 31st December 2015 and 2017 respectively. But the company is using the cost model for investment property and also property plant equipment. Do you think 3.6 million fair value and 3.8 million fair value on 31st December 2015 and 31st December 2017 will affect the carrying amount of the investment property? Do you think? Do you think the 3.6 million and 3.8 million will affect the carrying amount of the investment property on 31st December 2015 and 31st December 2017? Anybody wants to try?
Not affected.
Not affecting. Okay, good. So at least you have the idea on what is actually happening, yeah. Okay. So kita akan tengok jawapan sekejap lagi. Okay, and then B, B, assuming on 1st January 2014, the company had used the building as a warehouse. Now it is a warehouse. Just now it is rented out. Now it is a warehouse. For storage imported goods before distributing to retailers. It is the policy of the company to adopt the fair value model to measure its investment property and revaluation model to measure its property, plant, and equipment. The company closes its account on 31st December every year. Now it is a warehouse. So is it a property, plant, equipment, or is it an investment property?
PPE.
Yes, PPE. So if it is a PPE, then we go back to the question whether 3.6 million and 3.8 million will affect the carrying amount of the building. Because the company is using the revaluation model. Will 3.6 and 3.8 affect the carrying amount of the building?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Discuss the accounting treatment of the building for the year ended 31st December 2015 and 2017 and present the extract statement of financial position as at 31st December 2015 and 2017 to show the effect in B only. Okay, so we are going to look at the answer. Just now we have discussed roughly what will be the situation and what will be the accounting treatment. Okay, now we look at the answer in full. Okay, so our answer is correct, yeah. On 1st January 2014, the acquired building is recognized as an investment property according to MFRS 140 investment property because it was rented out. So we need to to show the reason why we choose investment property rather than the property plant equipment, because the reason is rented out. The initial cost of the investment property is 3.5 million. It is given in the question. Since the company adopts the cost model, the building should be measured in accordance with the requirement of MFRS 116, even though it is an investment property, but because the company is using the cost model, it will be based on MFRS 116, property, plant and equipment, which is the building is subject to annual depreciation and impairment test. Okay. As at 31st December 2015, the carrying value of the building is 3,325,000. How do we get this? The cost is 3 million and the accumulated depreciation is basically 3.5 million divided by 40 years times 2 years in 2014, 2015 equal to 175,000. So the carrying amount on 31st December 2015 is 3,325,000. Whereas the carrying value of the building as at 31st December 2017 is 3,150,000. Okay, the calculation is the cost is 3.5 million and the accumulated depreciation is 350,000. How do we get 350,000? 3.5 million divided by 40 times 4. Okay, time 4. Okay, class? Are you okay with the answer? Do you want to add some? Do you want to add some sentences?
No, sir.
Okay, Prof.
Is everybody following this answer? Ada tak apa-apa persoalan yang nak ditanyakan? So kalau tak ada, kita teruskan dengan B. Okay, kita teruskan dengan B ya. Okay, B. On 1st January 2014, the acquired building is recognized as a property, plant, equipment accordance to MFRS 116, property, plant, equipment, and it was held for use. Yeah, because it was held for use in the supplying of goods and services. Dijadikan dia sebagai warehouse. Okay. As at 31st December 2015, the carrying value of 3,325,000. That is the cost less accumulated depreciation. Jadi pada tahun 2014, 2015, kita masih gunakan cost model. We are still using the cost model because no fair value given in 2014 until end of 2015, then only the new fair value was given. When there is a fair value, when there is a new fair value, the company need to revalue. If there is no new fair value, the company will continue to use the old value. That is revaluation model. Okay, now only on 31st December 2015 come out the new value, that is 3.6 million. So before that, for 31st December 2014, the company need to depreciate based on cost. 31st December 2015, the company need to depreciate based on cost. So the accumulated depreciation of 175,000 is basically the same as in question A. Okay, so just now the carrying value is 3,325,000. This amount will be compared with 3.6 million, the fair value. And when we compare, it results in a surplus on revaluation of 275,000. And this amount will be credited to asset revaluation reserve. The carrying amount as at 31st December 2015 is 3.6 million. Okay, and the accumulated depreciation of 175,000 is eliminated. Whenever there is a revaluation, the accumulated depreciation will be eliminated. Will be reversed. It means we have to debit the accumulated depreciation and credit the property, plant and equipment. Okay, that is question B. What about question C? Before question C, the second part of the question B is 2017. As at 31st December 2017, the carrying amount of the building is 3,410,526. Okay, the figure looks odd. Why looks odd? Because the figure is calculated using the new carrying amount, that is 3.6 million. Okay, the cost of fair value of 3.6 million minus accumulated depreciation. How do we get the accumulated depreciation? The accumulated depreciation is calculated by dividing 3.6 million with 38 years. Because the remaining useful life is 38 years, time 2. Why time 2? Because 2016 and 2017. Okay, so the carrying amount is 3,410,526, whereas the fair value is 3.8 million. So at this time, we also get a surplus on revaluation. And this time, the surplus on revaluation is 389,474. And this amount will be credited to asset revaluation reserve. And the carrying value as at 31st December 2017 is 3.8 million. And lastly, accumulated depreciation of 189,474 is eliminated. Yeah, 189,474 is eliminated. So there are 2 times revaluation. The first one is on 31st December 2015, and the second one is on 31st December 2017. Okay. And then the next one, under B2 is to present the extract statement of financial position as at 31st December 2015. Yeah. So in 31st December 2015 and 31st December 2017, let's look at the component. The component of the extract statement of financial position. Okay, we have non-current asset, property, plant and equipment. Okay, and the fair value on 31st December 2015 is 3.6 million. 31st December 2017 is 3.8 million. Okay. And then reserve. Our reserve in 2015, we have 275,000 asset revaluation reserve. Okay. Asset revaluation reserve is 275,000. Okay. And then we have in 2017, yeah, we have 2017. In 2017, we have the new ARR that is how much? 389,474. So we can simply add 275,000 and 389,474. This one and this one. We can simply add these two. So we are going to get the amount, the amount of asset revaluation reserve for 31st December 2017. However, depending on the accounting policy of the company, whether the company wants to amortize the asset revaluation reserve. If the accounting policy of the company is to amortize the asset revaluation reserve, then the asset revaluation reserve will be amortized based on the useful life. Based on the useful life, that is the useful life of the asset is 38 years. So for 275,000 divided by 38 times 2 years, it is equal to 14,474. However, this one is depending on the policy of the company. In the question, the question does not mention about the accounting policy. But if we assume that the accounting policy of the company is to amortize the asset revaluation reserve, then we can amortize the asset revaluation reserve. But if you answer just 275 plus 389,474, it is also correct. And the figure here is different. Yeah, it is different here. Okay. I'm sure when you learn about property plant equipment, when you learn about asset revaluation reserve, you come across the concept of amortizing the asset revaluation reserve. Okay, so this is one. If the company is having the accounting policy of amortizing, then you amortize. Otherwise, you don't have to amortize. Just add the original asset revaluation reserve and the new asset revaluation reserve. And then if for example, if in 2019 the company fair value, the asset fair value is falling below 3.5, for example. So at that time the company is suffering deficit on revaluation. So if there is a deficit on revaluation, we need to reverse the asset revaluation reserve. Okay, you need to reverse the asset revaluation reserve. That is for question 1. Any question for question 1?
No, sir.
No, So now we go to question 2. Question 2 is about Nexus, about Nexus. Question 2, Nexus Berhad acquired an asset on 1st July 2015 at 5 million. At this time, we do not know what the asset is. The estimated economic life of the asset is 10 years. The estimated life of the asset is 10 years. The company measured its inventory at the lower of cost and realizable value. Okay, please turn off the mic. The estimated economic life of the asset is 10 years. The company measure its inventory at the lower of cost and net realizable value. So in the first paragraph, the question already told us that there could be an inventory. There could be an inventory. Could be, not necessarily an inventory. It could be inventory. And if it is inventory, then the valuation is based on the lower of cost and net realizable value. And the subsequent measurement of its other asset are as follows. For example, if you have property, plant, equipment, it will be based on cost model. If you have investment property, it is based on fair value model. If it is intangible asset, it will be based on revaluation model. Right. Required in question A. Assuming Nexus Berhad operates as a full service restaurant, and the asset is kitchen equipment used in preparing the food and serving the customer. So, is it a property, plant, equipment, or investment property, or intangible asset, or an inventory? Assuming it is a kitchen equipment, is it inventory, or is it property, plant, equipment?
Property, plant, equipment.
Property, plant, equipment. Why? Why is it?
Sebab used in production.
Yes, used in production. Used in preparing the food. So kita kena tahu yang ni preparing the food ni adalah production. Production. Jadi because of restaurant, the product is food. Jadi preparing the food is actually producing goods and also the serving of the customers. Okay. So bila dia kata state the MFRS used to recognize the kitchen equipment, we can simply say that the MFRS is which MFRS?
116.
Yes, MFRS 116, property, plant, equipment. Walaupun dia adalah kitchen equipment. So kitchen equipment dia peralatan dapur. Okay. And then number 2, explain the possible accounting treatment of the kitchen equipment at 30th June 2017. Okay. Dibeli tahun bila tadi? 1st July 2015. Okay. Kemudian kalau property, plant, equipment, dia gunakan cost model. Cost model. Then what will be the accounting treatment for 2017? If you are using the cost model, you need to depreciate.
Depreciate.
Yes, you need to depreciate, and you have to calculate the amount of the depreciation in the year 2017. Okay, next is B. B is different thing. Assuming Nexus Berhad is a dealer company selling motor vehicle manufactured by BMW International, the asset purchased are held for sale in the ordinary course of its business. So at this time, the company is a dealer company. A dealer company. And the activities is selling motor vehicle. So, the asset purchased on 1st July 2015 is what? Is it a property, plant equipment, or is it an inventory, or is it what?
Investment property.
Inventory.
Yeah?
Inventory.
Inventory, ya. Okay, ada yang jawapan lain tadi? Ada jawapan lain?
Tak ada.
Tak ada, ya. So semuanya adalah inventory, ya. So state the MFRS used to recognize this asset. Of course, MFRS 1
102.
102 inventory. Okay. And then explain the accounting treatment of the asset if the asset could be sold for 4.5 million and the total cost incurred to sell the asset. Okay. Saya kena buanglah ni admin ni, ya. Admin ni dia macam dia akan lead kita kepada ni lah, sales commission, transportation cost. Okay. So it could be sold for 4.5 million, but okay, you have to incur certain other costs, that is sales commission and transportation cost of 300,000. What will be the accounting treatment? Okay. And then C, assuming the asset is a computer software that is used to operate its computer system and the software is not essential to the related computer hardware, at the end of 30th June 2017, the software could be sold in an active market for 3.3 million. State the MFRS used to recognize the asset. So is it any tangible? Or is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is an intangible asset. Prepare the journal entries to record the transaction for the year ended 30th June 2016 and 17. Remember just now, if it is an intangible asset, then we need to what? We need to value, yeah, based on revaluation model. Okay, so let's look at the answer together. Okay, so A1 is MFRS 116, property, plant, equipment, kitchen cabinet pula, bukan, kitchen equipment. And then number 2, the initial cost of the kitchen equipment as at 1st July 2015 is 5 million. The annual depreciation is 5 million divided by 10 years equal to 500,000. And the carrying value of the equipment at 30th June 2017 is cost 5 million less accumulated depreciation of 1 million. That is equal to 4 million. Okay, so dia telah berlalu 2 tahun daripada 1 Julai 2015. Okay. Kemudian kita bagi dengan 10 tahun. Jadi pada 30th June 2017, ya, dia telah berumur 2 tahun. So accumulated depreciation will be 5 million divided by 10 times 2 equal to 1 million. And therefore, the carrying amount is 4 million. Next, B. Okay, B, just now we have decided that the asset is an inventory. According to MFRS 102 inventory, the motor vehicle are inventory as they were held for resale. The motor vehicle are recognized at the lower of cost and net realizable value the cost of the motor vehicle is 5 million and the net realizable value is 4.2 million, not 4.5 million. 4.5 million is the sale value, yeah, minus cost to sell is 300,000. Thus, on 30th June 2017, the value of the motor vehicle is 4.2 million. Is there any problem with the inventory in terms of valuation?
No, Prof.
Okay, all right. C, yeah, in C, MFRS intangible asset. Okay, we can see from here that, okay, in 2015 and 2016, okay, there is no problem because we are still using the cost model until, yeah, until 30th June 2017, whereby, okay, there is a new value given. There is a new value given. So what is the value just now? 3.3 million. Yeah, the new value is 3.3 million. So we have to find, okay, whether it is surplus or deficit on revaluation. Okay, so on 1st July 2015, okay, after we purchase, then we need to we need to record debit intangible asset, credit cash or bank or payable 5 million. And then on 30th June 2016, we start amortizing for the first time. Okay, debit SOPL for amortization expense, okay, 500,000. How do we get 500,000? 5 million divided by 10, 500,000. And credit accumulated amortization, 500,000 also. And then 30th June 2017, we need to amortize also. And the amortization is the same as 2016. That is debit amortization, 500,000 and credit accumulated amortization, 500,000. And then on 30th June 2017 also, we are given the fair value of the intangible to be 3.3 million. At that time, the carrying amount is higher than 3.3 million. Higher than 3.3 million. Kan kita dah dapat ni kat atas tadi. Value dia adalah mana tadi? Value dia adalah 4 million. Kan? Macam mana 4 million? Sebab dia punya useful life adalah 10 years. Okay. 5 million divided by 10 years time 2. So kita punya accumulated amortization already 1,000. Jadi dia punya carrying amount adalah 5,000 minus 1,000. It is equal to 4 million. Tetapi dia punya fair value adalah 3.3 million, which is lower than the carrying amount. So the difference between the carrying amount, 4 million, and the new fair value, that is 3.3 million, is 700,000. So 700,000 is basically deficit on revaluation of intangible asset. So we need to debit SOPL for deficit on revaluation and credit intangible asset, okay, for the same reason. Okay, don't worry, we have the working here. Okay, the cost is 5 million, less accumulated amortization, 1 million, carrying amount 30th June 2017, 4 million, and fair value 3.3 million. Therefore, the deficit on revaluation is 700,000. Okay, 700,000. Everybody follow?
Yes, Prof.
Okay, kita pergi pada soalan yang ketiga. Okay, question 3 is about Bengkok Sendirian Berhad. Is a local manufacturing company in Kota Kinabalu. On 1st January 2016, the company bought a warehouse in Kota Kinabalu. Okay, so kita tengok kat sini asset dia adalah warehouse. So warehouse, it could be investment property, it could be property plant equipment. Okay, sebab property plant equipment dan investment property ni hampir sama, especially in term of building. So warehouse ni building juga, in Kota Kinabalu Park, for investment purpose, untuk tujuan pelaburan. So nampak-nampak gaya macam investment property. Tapi jangan percaya dulu. The warehouse cost the company 25 million and is expected to have a useful life of 20 years with a salvage value of 5 million. Okay, ini yang dijangkakan. Maknanya dia punya warehouse tu cost dia betul 25 million but the salvage value is 5 million with a useful life of 20 years. The warehouse is rented out to Miring Sdn Bhd for 10 years. Betul lah. So bila sebut rented means investment property. The annual rental of the warehouse is 2 million. The market value of the warehouse was 28 million and 24 million as at 31st December 2016 and 31st December 2017 respectively. The company adopts the fair value model in measuring investment property and its financial year ended 31st December every year. Okay, so it is an investment property. A. State the conditions that must be satisfied for an asset to be classified as an investment property under MFRS 140. Now, we know that it is an investment property, but the question does not ask us which MFRS because the question already clarified. It is MFRS 140. So, soalan tu dia tanya, state the conditions. Conditions, keadaan ataupun kriteria ataupun karakteristik that must be satisfied for an asset to be classified as an investment property under MFRS 140. So, do you remember the conditions that must be satisfied? Basically, what is investment property? What asset investment property ni that can be classified as investment property? What type of asset?
Land or building?
Land or building or part of building or both. Right. Next. Selepas daripada itu,
Held by owner or by the lease under a finance lease. To earn rentals or for capital appreciation or both.
okay, for rental or for capital appreciation or for both. So itulah condition yang kita kena tuliskan and not for
Sale.
not for resale lagi, not for use in production or render of production of good or render of service. Lebih kurang macam itulah ayat dia. Jadi maknanya condition dia begitulah. So it fulfill the definition of an investment property. Okay. Kemudian yang B, discuss the accounting treatment of the asset for the year ended 31st December 2016 and 2017. Sekarang ni kita dah tahu dia investment property. How do we treat the investment property in 2016 and 17?
Initial measurement at cost.
Okay, initial measurement at cost of 25 million. Kena sebutlah. Okay. 25 million and then subsequently
guna fair value model.
Okay, fair value model. Okay. Since the company is using the fair value model, the warehouse is not depreciated. Not depreciated. So we solely based on the fair value of 28 million and 24 million for 2016 and 2017. Okay, nanti kita tengok jawapan penuh dia. Dan C, assume that Benko applies the cost model to account for investment property. Instead, show all journal entries relating to the acquisition of the property and adjusting entries required up to 31st December 2017. So ini yang kita kata compare and contrast. Walaupun kita dah tahu dia ni adalah investment property, tapi kontras dia apa? Here we are using the fair value model. But in C, if the company is using the cost model. Jadi maknanya macam itulah. Kita ada compare, kita ada contrast. Okay? Bukan saja kita nak compare between MFRS 116 and MFRS 141 atau 140, tetapi Dia punya compare and contrast juga boleh berlaku in term of the accounting treatment. Accounting treatment because of using different accounting model. Cost model, fair value model, revaluation model, fair value less cost to sell, net realizable value, semua tu. So kita tengoklah jawapan dia untuk soalan yang ini. Soalan 3. Investment property is property, land or a building or part of land or building or both. Held by the owner or by the lessee under a finance lease to earn rentals or for capital appreciation or both rather than for use in production or supply of goods or administrative purpose or sale in ordinary course of business. Jadi number 1 ni adalah PPE. Yang ni PPE, yang ni pula adalah inventory. So investment property is not PPE, investment property is not inventory. B. On 1st January 2016, the warehouse of 25 million is treated as an investment property as per MFRS 140 since the building is rented out. So clear dan complete ayat dia tu. Maknanya kena ada kita sebut it is an investment property, the cost is 25 million. The reason for recognizing as investment property is because the building is rented out. In one sentence, ataupun you can put in 2 sentences. Number 2, no depreciation is provided. When you select the fair value model, no depreciation is provided. No depreciation is provided as the company adopts the fair value model for investment property. Pun complete juga. Number 3, on 31st December 2016, there was a change in the fair value of the warehouse. The changes resulted to gain in changes of fair value amounted to 3 million. Maknanya daripada 25 million goes to 28 million, increased by 3 million. And this amount, 3 million will be credited to SOPL sebagai fair value gain. Fair value gain, complete dah ayat nombor 3 tadi. Dan ayat nombor 4, on 31st December 2017, another changes in fair value resulted in loss. Kali ni loss pula sebab value dia turun daripada 28 kepada 24. Dan loss pun kita write off to SOPL. Gain, we credit to SOPL. Loss, we debit to SOPL. Habis B. C pula. C, if we are using the cost model, what are we going to record? So if we are using the cost model, we know that on 1st January 2016, we need to debit investment property and credit bank 25 million to record the acquisition of the property. And then on 31st December 2016, we start the first depreciation. What is the depreciable amount? Before we depreciate, we need to know the depreciable amount. Since the useful life is how many years? 20 years. And the residual value of the asset will be 5 million. The depreciable amount is only 20 million. That is 25 million minus 5 million. And the depreciation is 20 million divided by 20 years equal to 1 million. So for 31st December 2016, we debit SOPL for depreciation 1 million and credit accumulated depreciation 1 million. And the same goes to 31st December 2017, debit SOPL for depreciation 1 million and credit accumulated depreciation 1 million. Kelas? Rasa-rasanya boleh dapat full mark ke? Soalan 3 ni? Boleh ya?
Boleh.
Boleh, Alhamdulillah, insyaAllah. Okay, we go to the 4th question. Okay, the 4th question is about Labuan Entity Berhad. On 1st July 2016, Labuan Entity Berhad, a company based in Labuan, acquired a 5-story building. Okay, a 5-story building. So bila sebut building ni, it could be property plant equipment, it could be investment property. Okay, boleh tak building ni jadi inventory? Boleh tak building jadi inventory? Boleh tak?
Tak boleh sebab tu main office.
Okay. Okay, jadi ilmu kita dah banyak kan? Kita dah belajar. So takkanlah building ni jadi inventory. Boleh dia jadi inventory sekiranya dia tukar status lah. Tukar status kepada company ni dia beli dan jual building. If the company is purchasing and selling building, then why not? It is an inventory. Tapi in this case dia tak ada sebut gitu. Jadi possibility kat sini 5-story building ni adalah sama ada PPE ataupun IP. Okay, 5-story building costing 30 million to be used as its main office and operation site. So saya dah highlight warna kuning, main office and operation site. So it is a PPE. Okay, it start as a PPE. However, on 1st January 2017, due to some unfavorable business economic condition, ada masalah dalam ekonomi, okay, the company decided to utilize only the ground floor for their business operation. 5 tingkat, diguna 1 tingkat saja, bawah sekali. Okay, and the balance is rented to third parties, which generated monthly revenue of 850,000. Okay, jadi dia tukar status dia. Yang 4 tingkat tu, tingkat 2, 3, 4 dan 5 disewakan. So dia tukar status dia daripada use as an office ataupun operation site kepada rented out. The estimated useful life of the building is 30 years. According to ownership of the building, each story cannot be sold separately. The fair value of the building was 40 million and 50,500,000 as at 1st January 2017 and 31st December 2017 respectively. Okay, so bangunan ni dia punya nilai dia fast moving. Dalam tempoh setahun saja dia boleh naik. Boleh naik sebanyak 10.5 juta. The company adopts the fair value model in the measurement of its non-current asset subsequent to initial recognition. The financial year ends on 31st December every year. Okay, maknanya kalau katakan dia property plant equipment, dia gunakan revaluation model. Kalau investment property, dia akan gunakan fair value model. Itu maksudnya. Okay, required A, explain the circumstances on its initial recognition for the above building to be treated under the relevant MFRS for the year ended 31st December 2016. Apakah dia punya circumstance? Ataupun condition ataupun situation on initial recognition for the above building to be treated under the relevant MFRS. Okay, jadi kalau katakan kita kata pada 1 Julai ini dia adalah investment, dia adalah property plant equipment. Apakah condition yang dia perlu satisfy? Kalau katakan memanglah dia bukan investment property kan. Jadi kemudian 1 Julai sampai 31st December 2016 dia adalah property plant equipment. Kemudian pada 1 hari bulan January 2017 dia dah jadi investment property. Okay, dia jadi investment property. Sampai 31st December masih lagi property plant equipment. Kemudian B, advise Labuan entity on the accounting treatment of the transfer owner occupied property to investment property on 1st January 2017 in accordance to MFRS 140 investment property. So keadaan ni kita dah tahu dah. Pada 31st December dia adalah PPE. Kemudian pada 1 Januari 2017 IP. So macam mana proses kita nak transfer daripada PPE kepada IP? In term of accounting treatment dia macam mana? Dan okey, tak ada soalan yang ketiga lah, soalan A dan B saja. Okey. Ya. Jadi what are the circumstances? What are the circumstances? On 1st July 2016, the building is recognized under MFRS 116 Property, Plant and Equipment at its initial cost of 30 million. Since it is being used for its business operations. The building is depreciated over its useful life of 30 years at 1 million. Yeah. How do we get 1 million? 30 million divided by 30 years. So 1 million per annum. At 31st December 2016, the carrying value is 29 million. Okay, sampai 31st December 2016 saja soalan A ni. So kita jawab sampai 31st December 2016. So mula-mula kita recognize sebagai property plant equipment. Okay, dengan dia punya cost dia 30 million, dengan depreciation dia 1 million per annum. Sampailah pada 31st December, the carrying value is 29 million. Full stop. And then, after that, B, the building is treated as an investment property under MFRS 140 on 1st January 2017. And the deemed carrying value is measured at the fair value of 40 million. Mula-mula 29, tiba-tiba selepas sehari dia jadi 40 million. Takkanlah tak ada buat apa-apa kan, 29 million to 40 million ada difference banyak 11 million. So what we are going to do with the 11 million? Yeah, what we are going to do with 11 million? Any difference between the building carrying amount and its fair value is treated in the same manner as a revaluation in accordance with MFRS 116. Walaupun kita tahu tadi, cost dia 30 million, kemudian selepas kita tolak dengan accumulated depreciation, dia dapat 29 million. Okay, maknanya masa tu belum ada lagi fair value. Bila saja ada fair value, maka the difference between the carrying amount and the fair value will be treated as a revaluation reserve. Okay, a revaluation reserve. Jadi dekat sini tiba-tiba kita ada revaluation reserve sebanyak 11 million. So, on 1st January 2017, a revaluation has taken place as per MFRS 116. Hence, 11 million surplus, that is the difference between 40 million and 29 million, arising from the revaluation of the owner-occupied building, is credited to revaluation reserve. Okay, is credited to revaluation reserve. Since investment property is using fair value model, no depreciation is provided starting from 1st January 2017. Okay? Boleh?
Boleh, Prof.
Ya, so kita pergi pada soalan yang kelima. Okay, question 1 is a bit different from the above question 1, 2, 3, 4. Because here it seems that we need to do some calculation. Syarikat Tambadau Berhad is a company involved in a much diversified business operation ranging from palm oil plantation to investment as well as breeding and trading goat business. Yeah, on 1st July 2017, the company incurred the following expenditures. Okay, so there are how many expenditures on 1st July 2017? There are 4. The first one is machinery. Purchase machinery, the purchase price is 150,000 and the delivery cost of the machinery is 2,500. So to recognize the initial cost of the machinery, we need to add the 150,000 and 2,500. Because 2,500 is directly attributable cost of purchase of machinery. And then the third one is delivery goods 1 month old. Delivery goods 1 month old. Beli 50 ekor kambing yang berusia 1 bulan. Tapi harga keseluruhan dia adalah 7,500. 7,500. Kemudian dia beli warehouse for rental income 950,000. So yang itu IP lah. Warehouse for rental income 950,000. Next, tak habis lagi. The following are information related to those items above as at 31st December 2017. Okay, what are they? Okay, machinery fair value dia 135,000. Tadi masa beli 150 campur dengan 2,500. Dan sekarang ni fair value dia 125,000. Turun pula. Okay, kemudian yang ni goat pula. 50 goat tadi. Fair value of 1 month old less cost to sell of 1 month old. Untuk 50 ekor tadi, keseluruhannya 10,000 minus 2,000. So, fair value less cost to sell is 8,000. Whereas, fair value of 7 month old less cost to sell is 12,000 minus 1,500. Okay, maknanya dia punya fair value less cost to sell is 11,000 untuk 50 ekor tadi. Warehouse is 1.2 million. Daripada 950 million naik kepada 1.2 million. It is the policy of the company to charge depreciation on 10% on its plant, property and equipment. Property, plant and equipment. Balik ni tulisnya. Using the straight line method based on its period of ownership. Maknanya tempoh dia punya tempoh dia punya penggunaan. Property, plant and equipment is measured using the cost model. Okay, property, plant, equipment is measured using the cost model. The company adopts fair value model for all its other asset and closes its account on 31st December each year. Mana property, plant, equipment saja gunakan cost, yang lain-lain agriculture fair value less cost to sell. Investment property fair value. Required. Discuss the classification of the above expenditure in accordance to appropriate accounting standard. State the relevant accounting standard. Untuk semua-semua yang ada di atas tu, ada berapa tu? Ada berapa classification?
Ada 4.
4 ke 3?
3.
Kita ada machinery, satu. Machinery apa?
PPE.
MFRS
116.
Good.
Agriculture.
Biological asset, MFRS
141.
141. Warehouse,
Investment property
MFRS
140.
140. Good. Okay. So kita dah dapat jawapan yang pertama. Jawapan yang kedua, explain the subsequent measurement of the above items on 31st December 2017. Subsequent measurement. Okay. Jadi untuk subsequent measurement, kita tak boleh lah main sebut aja. Kita kena kira. Di mana kita kena kira subsequent measurement untuk machinery, subsequent measurement untuk good, subsequent measurement untuk warehouse. 6 markah. Okay, kita tengok jawapan dia sama-sama. So betul tadi, machinery will be recognized under MFRS 116 at an initial cost of 152,500. Ya. Macam mana kita dapat? 150 plus 2,500. Ya. Kemudian biological asset will be recognized under MFRS 141 at its initial cost of 7,500. And warehouse will be recognized under MFRS 140 at its initial cost of 950,000. Next, okay, B. Okay, first we are talking about machinery. We are talking about machinery. So machinery tadi will be depreciated based on how long is the useful life. Okay, dia tak bagi tahu berapa, tapi 10%. 10% useful. Dia punya percentage of depreciation is 10%, but based on how long you are using the asset for the year. Okay, jadi kita punya machinery tadi 152,500 kali dengan 10% kali dengan 6 month lah, daripada bulan Julai sampai bulan January. Sorry, sampai bulan Disember. Julai, Ogos, September, Oktober, November, December. It is 6 month. Okay, ensured at the carrying value of 144,875. Sebab apa? Sebab depreciation dia adalah 7,625. So 152,500 minus 7,625 equal to 144,875. Settle yang pertama itu adalah subsequent measurement untuk machinery. Now, we calculate the subsequent measurement of biological asset. Okay, the subsequent measurement of the biological asset is, okay, first we put the opening balance. We put the opening balance of 7,500. How do we know that the opening balance is 7,500? Because we know that it is 1 month old, 50 unit, and the cost is 7,500. Yeah, 7,500. Bila sebut incurred, maknanya dia baru belilah 7,500 tu. Okay. And then increase in value due to price change. Okay, due to price change. Masa dia beli 7,500. Pada akhir tahun berapakah nilai dia? So pada akhir tahun kita tengok nilai pada akhir tahun ya. Okay, masa kita beli tadi 7,500. Okay, kemudian masa akhir tahun ni, berapakah nilai dia? Untuk usia 1 bulan. Ni. Untuk usia 1 bulan, inilah dia punya tu. Fair value 10,000. Cost to sell 2,000. Jadi, 10,000 minus 2,000 equal to 8,000. 8,000 minus 7,500. Itulah dia punya price change. Okay, itu dia punya price change. So price change dia adalah 500. Okay, price change dia adalah 500. Okay, kemudian physical change. Physical change ni daripada usia sebulan kepada usia 7 bulan. Kita compare pada tarikh 31st December 2017. Ya, usia 1 bulan kita compare dengan usia 7 bulan. Ya. Fair value less cost to sell pada 31st December 2017 untuk 1 bulan adalah 8,000. Okay. Dan untuk 7 bulan adalah 11,000. Macam mana dapat 11,000? 12,000 minus 1,500. Fair value less cost to sell. So, kita compare di antara 8,000 dengan 11,000, the difference is 3,000. Okay, the difference is 3,000. And then we add the 500 and 3,000 equal to 3,500 plus opening balance 7,500 equal to closing balance 11,000. So 11,000 is the subsequent measurement of the biological asset. As at 31st December 2017, the biological asset will be at its fair value less cost to sell of 11,000. Okay, dan last sekali adalah apa kita punya warehouse ya. On 31st December 2017, there will be a gain on fair value changes for warehouse. Sekejap ya. Ada kelas kan? Alright. On 31st December 2017, there will be a gain on fair value changes for warehouse amounted to 250,000. The carrying amount of the warehouse is 1,200. Eh, 1,200. Sorry, 1,200 pula. 1.2 million. Okay. 1.2 million daripada nilai asal dia 900 berapa? 950 ribu. So ada fair value gain dah untuk warehouse tu. Okay kelas, so kita dah buat 5 soalan. Ada apa-apa nak tanya daripada 5 soalan ni kita buat ni?
Tak ada, Prof.
Tak ada ya? So rasanya boleh faham tak semua yang kita belajar berkaitan dengan compare and contrast ni? Senang tak?
So far okey lagi.
So far okay lagi. Yang lain-lain ni tidak memberikan respon? Is it okay everybody? Ada 19 only hari ni ya? Okay, hari ni ada ramai yang terlibat dengan MUET
Maaf kalau ada yang terlibat dengan
Ada yang tak tak boleh masuk kelas sebab MUET. Memang ada MUET hari ni.
maaf Prof.
Okey, dan saya pun ada bagi satu lagi set soalan ya. Jadi set soalan ni saya tunjukkan dia punya set soalan, tapi saya tak nak discuss hari ni soalan ni. Set soalan ni saya tak nak discuss hari ni sebab ni adalah sample group assignment. Jadi tapi tak perlulah buat in group ya. Tapi kalau you nak buat in group pun tak ada masalah ya. Cuma sekarang ni kita punya group assignment A ni dia dah dikurangkanlah markah dia daripada 50 kepada 40 saja. Daripada 50 kepada 40. Tapi soalan dia masih lebih kurang samalah dengan soalan yang kita buat tadi tu. Cuma kali ni dia 4 soalan, bukan 5 soalan. Jadi yang ni, okay, untuk 4 soalan ni, kita cuma akan buat, kita akan bincang satu soalan saja. Satu soalan saja dalam kelas ni. Kemudian yang lain-lain tu, saya nak minta awak cuba buat dan kita akan bincang pada kelas yang pada hari Rabu ya. Hari Rabu kita akan bincang soalan ni lah keseluruhannya. Jadi maksud saya berbincang soalan ni, saya memang akan bincang soalan saja. Bukan bincang jawapan untuk yang ni. Memang saya nak bagi peluang untuk awak buat. Untuk mencuba soalan ni ya. Kita bincang pada hari Rabu nanti. Jadi kita tengok dulu soalan satu. Soalan satu ni, Ping Berhad acquired a sport equipment for 750,000 on 1st January 2015. Sport equipment, peralatan sukan. Jadi kalau kat sini, kalau siapa yang ada di kampus ni boleh pinjam peralatan sukan daripada unit sukan. Ada basikal, ada macam-macam lah ya. The useful life of the sport equipment is expected to be 10 years. The fair value of sport equipment on 31st December 2018 was 500,000. 2018 ni berapa tahun selepas 2015? 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Selepas 4 tahun dia punya nilai dia, the fair value adalah 500,000. The sport equipment can also be sold in the market at this amount. The accounting treatment of Ping Berhad is cost model for property, plant equipment, for intangible asset, and for investment property. Year ends 31st December every year. Okay, required. Assuming Ping Berhad is a gymnasium with many registered members. Explain the accounting treatment of the sport equipment, state the relevant MFRS, and state the carrying amount of the sport equipment at 31st December 2019. Jadi kalau katakan company ni adalah gymnasium. Gymnasium. Jadi kita nak trade sebagai apa? Kita punya sport equipment. Kita nak trade sebagai apa? Sebagai property plant equipment ke? Sebagai inventory ke? Ataupun sebagai apa?
PPE.
Sebagai PPE. Sebab apa? Kita confident dia adalah PPE.
Sebab they use in services.
Yes, use in services. Good. Okay. And then state the carrying amount of the sport equipment at 31st December 2019. Nanti you kira lah. Okay. Kemudian B, assuming Pink Berhad is a sport equipment retailer. Retailer ni peruncit. Peruncit ataupun kedai runcit lah. Retailer. Jadi dia beli tapi dia adalah retailer. Sport equipment retailer. Explain the accounting treatment of the sport equipment. State the relevant MFRS. And also state the carrying amount of the sport equipment as at 31st December 2018. So, is it a property plant equipment ataupun inventory ataupun apa?
Inventory.
Inventory. Okay, baguslah kelas ni. Jadi you know, you really understand, okay, the concept of investment property, property plant equipment, inventory, agriculture dan juga apa satu lagi? PPE.
Intangible.
Yes, intangibles. Okay. Jadi saya tak akan tutup saya punya Google Meet ni. Okay. Tapi untuk kelas ni saya nak habiskan lah kelas ni. Sebab saya nak bagi peluang untuk awak buat soalan 2, 3 dan 4 tanpa ada saya lah. Tapi kalau nak tanya soalan, saya ada dekat dalam kelas, insyaAllah. Is that okay?
Okay, Prof.
Okay, jadi saya buat ni samalah dengan kelas yang sebelum tadi. Kelas pukul 8.10 saya pun buat macam tu juga. But I will be here, okay. Saya tak akan tutup lah Google Meet ni. Kalau siapa-siapa nak terus duduk dalam Google Meet ni, it's okay. Kalau siapa nak keluar pun, saya izinkan lah untuk keluar. Lepas tu kalau nak keluar, lepas tu nak masuk balik tanya pun okey juga. Saya akan tutup Google Meet ni pada pukul 11.55. Okay. So officially kelas kita tamatlah. Pada waktu sekarang ni memang awal sangat ni, baru 11.18. Tapi saya masih ada lah kelas kira on lagi. Cuma saya akan dismiss awak lah supaya awak boleh nak buat sama ada nak buat kerja ni ataupun buat kerja lain. Preferably if you can do this, it is good lah untuk kita discuss pada kelas akan datang. So dengan itu kita akhiri kelas kita dengan surah Wal-Asr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.